Hey everyone, and welcome to batch 204 in the Harvest Right freeze dryer. This is pork loin and sauerkraut. It's cooked, of course. If you see some of the sauerkraut doesn't look cooked, I did have to take some. Here's the cooked, and then here's some that's just straight out of the jar. When I was weighing the amounts to put on the trays, I ended up putting a pound of pork loin and 10 ounces of sauerkraut on each tray, and I kind of ran out of sauerkraut that was cooked. So I just opened a jar and strained that and then put it on the trays so that every tray would be even when I pack it in the Mylar. So here's how I'm doing that. I made some small ones right there. That's still enough for 2 people because 4 ounces of meat is a serving. So I have 4 bags that have 8 ounces of pork loin and 5 ounces of sauerkraut. Now, based on the assumption, and yes, it's an assumption, that freeze-dried, properly stored food lasts 30 years, I put an expiration date of January 2050 on it. And if any of you are around in 2050 watching my video, or even 2049, send me a message and we'll go ahead and pull some of that out and see how it lasted for you. So the other 2 bags are going in larger bags that have 1 pound 10 ounces, so that should be enough for 4 people. When my husband goes camping or to work, or my son, they will be able to just take this and share it when they do that. So let's check out the little notebook after we break some of this apart. See, it just breaks and it's real crispy. Now you see that shiny on my hand? That's actually fat. Now, fat could be a problem in this batch, and anytime you do a fatty meat. Now, I did actually take the chance of rinsing away a lot of the flavor, and prior to freeze drying the pork and sauerkraut, I put it in a colander and ran some hot water over it to try to get rid of a lot of that fat. And I feel like I did. And then I picked the fat off of every single piece. But you can see how fat doesn't freeze dry. That's what that is. That's fat. So fat in freeze-dried items will make them go rancid. So this is also, I have some other pork and sauerkraut that I've done. So eventually I'm going to start pulling them out and rehydrating some just to make sure that that batch is still good. So let's check out how long this takes in the freeze dryer. So here's how I do my notes, and sometimes I'd like to put a cost there. I just didn't because we bought the pork loin for 99 cents a pound. It was huge. You never get the meat out of there that you put into there. And then the sauerkraut had a cost. I think it was $2 a jar. We had to buy small jars because we didn't want to run to Sam's Club just to get a gallon, and I was out of my gallon sauerkrauts. So much for keeping a good inventory, right? So this batch, I'll show you. I let my freeze dryer run for 208 hours and 40 minutes. Of that, 156 hours and 30 minutes was added time. So this should have taken 52 hours and 10 minutes. And I'm actually thinking it probably would have taken less, probably closer to 40. I probably lost track of some of the time I was adding because I just add it in my head and write it down at the freeze dryer when I add it. And that is an incredible amount of time to add, and I could be freeze drying a lot more food if I did not add ridiculous hours. And I've said in the past, my electric bill's fine, thank you. I'm sure that's adding to it. I'm not sure how much. It's not enough for me being added to warrant allowing the freeze dryer pump to stop and just put it in a holding pattern, though. You cannot over dry your food. The longer it's freeze dried, the longer it runs in the freeze drying process. It may stop getting dry, but it'll never be under dry. And also, you can also just take my pump as an example of how you can, I'm not going to say abuse, but run, because vacuum pumps are meant to run consistently, is what I was told whenever I got my freeze dryer. So that's it. That's our pork loin and sauerkraut in the freeze dryer. I just did a video on an unboxing of some of my Hoosier Hill products. So what I'm going to do is in a few minutes I'm going to use up my little packs of oxygen absorbers to put them in there, and then I'll use the bigger packs and go ahead and put in Mylar some of that milk that that I just purchased. I'm sorry that I'm not concentrating. I'm watching Roderick from the Plant-Based Homestead. He's discussing the latest episode of The Colony, which I've never even seen before. But if you don't know what his channel is or what The Colony is, he said The Colony is a YouTube-based television show, I believe, and and check out that, and then check out the Plant-Based Homestead. Roderick does a synopsis of the episode once a week. It's very interesting because then he asks what you would do in that same situation, and then you also get to vote on what you would do, and he brings up some very valid points, and like he said, he's learning from the show. Let me show you real quick. I want to thank the moderators because you guys, y'all caught a bunch of things. So there's Roderick on my big screen TV. I had to use my phone to make the video. Do this, do lives and put things up on the screen. Like let's see here. Okay, I can put this up on the screen. I haven't done it this live, but I'm in a whole different program, so I am not on YouTube moderating. That's why we have. Well, anyway, if you don't, he's not talking about the show right now. Location can get them killed, and I appreciate you guys for understanding that and not just silencing people and putting people out the group. Now, when we had people that were obviously trolling, y'all was, and I think Emily. So anyway, that's it. It's called the Plant-Based Homestead Prepper. That's what it is, Plant-Based Homestead Prepper. And I'm learning to link, and I keep saying I'm learning to link, and I don't even check to see if my links work. So I'm going to link him here, and I hope he's okay with me showing you that part of his show. Roderick, if you want me to take it off, let me know. But anyway, that's it. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Be blessed, and definitely let me know in the comments, what did you prep today? Linda had left us for a while, posted things that I had said or didn't say about the president. And when I come and I talk about the president or I talk about politics, it's strictly on an issue that's going on right here. And I always say, before you even talk politics or religion, I'm like, hey, this is strictly about this particular subject. And whether you like it or you love it, or you hate it, or you want or whatever, let's talk about this little portion right here of the politics and religion. That's why I was very careful in my words that I chose when we started talking about John B. at the river. And I said certain things because I wanted to get a reaction from you guys. And I didn't say certain things because I wanted to see where we were going to go with. But when we talk politics and religion on here, it's going to be about this little portion of that subject.
and they were going to be done with it. And unfortunately, Linda either got upset or offended about some things that I said about the president, and she left us for a while. And I'm like, hey, look, you're welcome with open arms. I'm not upset.